are live. I don't have a long intro or anything like that, as usual. I'm just going live because I'm like that. I don't know how many people are going to show up. I mean, it's kind of impromptu. I was wanting to make a video. I was wanting to do quite a few things. But this one's been a bit rough, at least for me. So that's why I've just getting things started. I know they have an option for like a 30-second timer at the start of your video or all that kind of stuff. It's just not my thing. I know some people are turned off by this as well. Not like anybody is really that deep into it. Might have some guests. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna throw invites to a few people. Having discussions as to how much data is transferred over an HPG now, because I thought it was 1 kilobyte for one C-bill. One C-bill I thought was worth 1 kilobyte of data, and that was a little bit weird. Then my son calculated that the price for a the price for downloading the new Call of Duty game over an HPG network would basically be the price of either a small dropship or a battalion of Battlemechs. I mean, it's a it's a trade. I mean, if you want to play Call of Duty or conquer a planet.
Hello there.
How you doing? Have you been as busy as I was?
Doing okay.
So yes, MegaMek working.
I watched All In and All Out from AEW.
I did like All In.
Other than that, I got
Mobius.
Oh, you missed. You gotta see All Out.
Okay. I mean, my wife bought the pay-per-view.
All Out was really good.
The great thing with I think it's a fight, or whatever subscription that she has. I mean, you
got a package of minis in the mail yesterday.
What all did you get?
So I'll be looking through those later to start work on kit bashing. Other than that, I go to a plasma clinic tomorrow. And assuming everything goes well, I'll be able to go ahead and back the Legacy of Kain graphic novel Kickstarter.
That does look okay. I'm not a big enough Legacy of Kain fan to jump on that. Also, I'm a bit tap tight on. I mean, that GI Joe Kickstarter kicked my ass. That was way more than I should have spent on it, but you know, I did. I do still have the Gregory there. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of minis from people because I mean the stuff I'm doing next week, Maulers, Gregory, those are not common mechs. Weirdly enough, the Mauler is not a common mech, but that's because it's just been added into the most recent Kickstarter, I think. So we're not gonna have a glut of them. The ones I have are all really fun, different sculpts that people have found. Let's say, probably be able to get Scum's mini as well. Scum usually does pretty good job. He's the one I've been using for a lot of the Celestial minis in my videos. And we do have one Gregory from Esbern, voice of Han. This one's pretty cool. Mercenary colors.
I think once I get done with this Legacy of Kain Kickstarter, I'm gonna definitely take a break from backing anything else. Partially because I have to send out my brother's birthday gift this week, since his birthday is this coming Monday.
I mean, there's things that I'm okay to back. I mean, whenever
And
what's his face, John Dexter.
hey, Lan.
The audio's a little low. Let me play with my settings. I'll increase the gain a little bit. There we go. That might be a little bit better. Yeah, Lan showed me some of the builds that he's doing for his Battletech. Everybody's ski Battletech Gundam conversion. Looks pretty cool. Some new technology. I've had weird ideas last couple of weeks. Last week or so. I've been super busy this week, and usually when that happens, I get weird ideas. Mauler Mark 1. Just want to have the two of them separated. I'm getting my pictures ready basically for the upcoming videos.
Weird ideas like giving without question another read through.
Oh, I am not at that point yet, I think. But no, I mean, dog protomechs were already a bad enough start. But I think the idea is cool. So, yes, some people get mad, but I like the idea of having dogs in giant battle armors, helping out people. Is it functional? Probably not, but it's fun. Getting a few things ready for the videos next week already. Usually I do that on Friday a little bit more. So yeah, we've got MegaMek version 50. The 49.19 is the stable version. This is the unstable version, but it seems to work. I messed with it a little bit, but I need to mess with it a whole lot more, actually, if I want to make it work. Because compared to the version, I think the last version I used was like 27 or something like that. So that was a while back. But I want to get some games going and have some channel members or people who want to playing, just so we can have some pro virtual dices, I guess, is what we're messing with. And there's my dog protomech. But that's one version. I'm not sure if I should put the melee weapons.
Are you from your microphone?
Is this better? Is this better?
Yes, because you kept fading in and out and sound like you were.
Okay, I understand the problem. I understand the problem. It's how stupid. It is how stupid my Microsoft phone setups are. I need to get an actual headset that's without a mic, so I can use my other mic properly. That's my problem. And it does say that it was set up on my other. StreamYard's being StreamYard. We'll go with that. Gosh darn StreamYard.
See, you're coming in fine right now, but beforehand it was.
It was, yeah. I know what you're
like
saying. I know exactly.
Fading in and out.
I know the problem.
The microphone kept cutting out, like you were lagging real bad.
I will not only blame StreamYard, because I mean it's the common answer a lot of people and streamers do, that they blame StreamYards for everything. I won't.
I made the mistake of plugging in my other headphone, but you know.
Uh,
So you were saying that Rogue
well, I
Tech's
think
better
we're
than
past
BTA?
the 3 or 5 minute barrier for YouTube if you're streaming this to YouTube.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying that Rogue Tech's better than Battletech Advanced?
So if Collector hops in and is Battletech Advanced in that Bloody Doves put out?
Yeah.
The one
I'm
where
asking
he
everyone.
purposely nerfed clans
Oh yeah, well
to
I
have
remembered that. Yeah.
worse range.
And 20% hit rate on melee attacks, just because their clans are not supposed to do melee attacks, so he did that. That I remember when I played it. That's why I went in his own special faction that he created at the bottom right near the Taurians, and that stuff. There's some of the stuff that was created for that I find fun, but most of it I find either overpowered or just too weird to really be used. Let's say was it the IR lasers that are like streak lasers I found really weird, but the idea is not terrible. I mean, you still generate heat, but if you don't shoot, it doesn't generate as much heat. I mean, that was okay as a modifier, but then there was some stuff that was just too crazy, at least too crazy for me. Yeah,
I would rather
MegaMek is a
play
lot of
Rogue
fun.
Tech than
Rogue Tech, the only thing that I didn't like about it was just how terrible the optimization was for it. So it made it really, really, really hard to use. Because it was a mess to use basically whenever I was playing it.
you basically have to lease a computer from NASA just to play Rogue Tech.
I mean, I bought an extra 32 gigs of RAM to play Battletech Advanced, and it kind of helped. But for anything else, it was rough. Yeah, I did a thing. I need to figure out to understand how this works a little bit better. I did create the Concordat Block 2 frigate. I'm not sure if it's any good, but I have really hard time when I mess with anything larger than, let's say, a small dropship, maybe, because I get to a scale what I don't understand what I'm doing. Because yeah, I'm a mech tech, not a warship tech. But yeah, basically upgraded the old Concordat
Not with
frigate.
that attitude, you aren't.
I upgraded the old Concordat frigate to modern specs, let's say. Maybe I should have put some tech in it, some other tech in it. There's some things that I might want to mess with. The big difference is clan lasers, clan LRMs with Artemis, anti-missile systems all around, because that's kind of how you make warships survive, and a pair of VAG-20 in every arc, because there's nothing better to shoot down anything that wants to bug your capital ships than a flight of lead. Well, it won't be lead; it will be iron, because lead is not magnetic. But you know the drill. I was thinking maybe of putting a naval Gauss on it, but naval Gauss rifles are very, very, very heavy. I didn't know how heavy they were. I mean, 4,500 tons for a naval Gauss rifle, a light naval Gauss rifle. That's the light one. Still not as crazy as the mass driver. 100,000 tons. But that's basically a planet-destroying weapon. You just dump it on a planet and it's just gone afterwards. Or whatever you shot at is gone at least. There's a lot of things that I still need to learn on building those larger things, but I'm not planning on building a whole lot of cap ships. Basically, that's a little bit. That's just because I know I've written about them already, so I want to have the stats out if someone wants to look at them and talk about them. Basically. I played around with assault dropships as well. I played around with proto-mechs. This is a much better tool to build proto-mechs than doing it by hand. So this is another thing I'm not 100% sure of because I've never messed with proto-mechs that much. I played with them a few times, but never anything fancy. So I know Real Mechas Love really likes his proto-mechs, so I might want to learn to use them a little bit more, just so I have an idea of how they work.
I've already told you a great way to use them.
Well, there's different ways. I mean, since they can be carried by Omni-Mechs,
Fire
I mean, since they can be carried by Omni-Mechs, there's quite a few.
only if they have the clamps.
Only if they have the clamps. Okay.
Only if they have the clamps.
How heavy are those? Are said clamps? Or well, that's a quad, so maybe it's not able to put them on. Personally,
No, it is.
I mean, putting a tag on them probably wouldn't be a bad idea. My problem with Protomech is that they come in groups of 5. And it'd be nice if you could customize what's in the group of 5 in a way.
You cut out there.
Because what I'd really use Protomech as is as the support for the battle armors. So I'd have 1 Protomech and 4 battle armors as a point, rather than 5 battle armors or 5 Protomechs. That's how I would use them if I were to build them. I know that's not how the game's supposed to be played, but
personally, I would keep them. I would probably just keep them as they are, because even if you put the meg clamps on, if you wouldn't be able to do the 1 pro mech and 4
battle armors
to be 4 elementals, for example, to be carried around.
As a narrative element, that's how I would use them. Let's say, like you have that Gorgon or that Hobgoblin proto-mech in the back, and 4 gnomes in front, and you use that as a battering ram to get into a building. But I mean, the game's not made to be to use them like that, basically. But I had to be told that I need to maximize the screen for for the MegaMek lab
To figure out
because
which pro mech specifically.
can you build battle armors with this? Looks like you can. Huh. Battle armors are also a little bit weird because the biggest problem I have with battle armors is that the original clan battle armor is pretty much the best battle armor you can have. It just does the job so well that it's hard to discuss it differently. Let's say. I just feel like
I mean, you got a few others that are really good, like the Burrock from Clan Hell's Horses, and you've also got the Salamander.
The inner sphere, the one that's pretty good's the what's the name of it again? Longinus.
Longinus.
Yeah. It is basically a toad without the jump jets, from what I understand. So I mean it's pretty functional.
Pretty much all of the elemental sub flavors are pretty good. You got the Self, which has the flight, the VTOL capability. You got I believe you got the Golem, the Self, the Salamander, and the Undine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Rogue Bear is another good battle armor. Forgot about that one.
Too bad about the only ones no, true. We'll be able to get the melted plastic version of the Inner Sphere standard, and we have the regular ones because our CGL doesn't like money. I mean, they could just give us all the battle armors, but they prefer to be weird, I guess. Okay, that's the anti-personnel mount. Okay. Attachable weapon pack. Okay. Did I put it as experimental? Yeah, okay, so that's why there's a bit more stuff. Battle armor mounted MRMs might not be a bad thing, though. I've never been a huge fan of MRMs, but maybe on battle armors, it'd be a good thing. Then again, you've got the rocket launcher, who's also exists, sadly enough. So, what do you have? Okay, you have all the pistols, shotguns, various forms of Gauss rifle. I have to get used to this software as well. It's pretty good, but I think I like Skunkworks for a lot more for other stuff as well.
Yeah, I like Skunkworks.
Skunkworks for making mechs just goes really quick. Of course, you have less options because this one they just go crazy with stuff. And maybe this, I'll have to check the files. Not sure if MegaMek's easier to mod than Skunkwork is. Skunkwork is not that hard to mod if you need to play around with it, but it's a little bit. I mean, you need to know what you're doing in order to modify it.
Yeah.
Some of those are good little softwares for people who want to learn how to do the mech tech thing. There was one thing I wanted to do. I'll use Skunkworks because I'm more used to it. Oop. 90 tons. 3.5. An actual Mauler C is what I was trying to think of.
You better make it clan tech then. Or are you going to be doing it with the inner sphere base for like the C1 and C2 and then clan for like the C3?
The new one, there's a new one from the Draconist Combine with the only non-clan part in it is the 4 light AC5s. That's the only. I know the engine's an Inner Sphere XL.
Ew. Ew.
Yes, you.
Brother,
I fully
ew.
agree. I fully agree with that. Okay, I'll be honest to everyone who's watching here, even if I'm doing the video next week, the Mauler is far from my favorite mech. Yeah, I think it's
The Mauler is
second,
shit.
it is the second best 90-ton mech in the 3050 listing. Because you've got the Islander, you've got the Mauler, and you've got the Cyclops. Those were your choices when you were playing in 1989 when the clans showed up, or 1990 when the clans showed up. Those were your choices as an Inner Sphere commander, as for what you would put as a 90-ton mech. And back then, we played tonnage like real men. So the other guy was bringing a 95-ton executioner, and you brought a Banshee, and you died. That's what happened.
Just as Kerensky intended.
I've had so many bad experiences with facing my brother, who was playing almost exclusively clan, obviously, with whatever Inner Sphere force I could muster. And things generally turned out pretty bad for me. I mean, the original Mauler is really not very
It's shit. It's shit.
Okay, we'll go there. It is shit. If I did it
As
fully
Razor Fist writes me out of his well for saying that.
It looks cool and sounds cool.
You mean where it has the? You mean where the arms come out of the missile racks?
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that setup. It's Battletech. It's not Gundam. It's not anime. It's Battletech. You've got 2 big arms coming out of missile racks on the side. What I don't like is, as a guy playing an engineer, I'm not an engineer myself. My dad is, but not me. I'm a computer science guy. But looking at it, the autocannons should be on the shoulders and the missile racks should be underneath them. Because if you're going to shoot at airplanes with those things, you don't want them to be in your lower belly. That's the most horrible place to put them unless you plan on using those autocannons solely to shoot at tanks. I know I'm being picky there. Actually going to go full clan tech on it. Full clan tech Mauler with a full head injection system because it's fancy. We did just a 1-for-1 translation of the design. So that's 11.5 tons of armor. That's part of the reason I don't like the Mauler. But it's supposed to be ferrofibrous, so we will go with 11.5 tons of clan grade ferrofibrous. 2 ER large laser, 2 LRM-15 with 4 tons of ammo.
Regular ammo?
I'm not going anything fancy here. I mean, you can switch them to what you want once the mech's on the field. And, well, I can't use regular AC2s, so should we go LB2X or Ultra AC2s? I mean, both are terrible.
Rack 2?
Too big. You won't be able to fit them in. I wouldn't be
Well,
able
you
to
don't
put
need
in the
4 of
XL
them.
engine. Oh, no, I'm trying to do a 1-for-1 replica here.
LB2X AC then. Unless there's something in there for like proto-mech.
There's a ProtoMech AC2. It does exist. But the LB2X is just still, you know, it's a
It's
better
still
gun.
better.
The ProtoMech AC2, the only advantage of the ProtoMech AC2 is that you can stick those fancy ammo in that you don't have with the standard autocannons. Standard clan autocannons, let's say.
With the LBXs?
No, with the
All you get is...
no, with the ProtoMech autocannons.
Oh, yeah.
So I still got 15 tons left over. So that shows. Oh no, I should add an extra heat sink because there's supposed to be one extra heat sink. So 14 tons of over.
You got the full ejection.
I put
Heavy
the
ejection.
full head ejection because why not? I like spending $3 million to keep my pilots safe.
Whenever someone kicks him in the balls.
Well, knowing it's a, I mean, I had to put the ammo somewhere. I know I'll do the thing that Raphaelia really doesn't like and put the ammo in the legs. But I mean, I don't like it. I still don't like it. I don't like 40 EAT with 22 dissipation and your main firepower being 2 ER large lasers. It really doesn't work for me, let's say. I mean, those are huge too. Well, let's try to make it smarter. 2 rotary AC2s, that sounds a lot smarter than the LB2Xs. 2 tons, that gives me 90 ammo on these. I'll put case 2s in, increase my survivability. Honestly, the other thing I would do if I were to make a clan mauler is obviously increase the speed to, you know, faster than a snail's pace. I mean, now you've got a decent amount of firepower. It's starting to look like something.
Shove a mask and a supercharger in there.
Wouldn't fit. The mask won't fit. The supercharger will. The mask
Are you
won't.
sure the mask won't fit?
The mask at 90 tons, I'll take 3 critical. I don't have 3 crits available in the setup I've got here.
You do if you move the ammo. Well,
yeah, I would. I think a supercharger would be enough. I mean, it already jacked the price up by 6 million. Superchargers are not the cheapest piece of hardware.
well, hold on. I want to see some real quick. Go back to the basic setup. Go ahead and select mask. I want to see something real quick. Now stick it in an arm.
You can't stick. Yes, technically you can stick it in the arm because it doesn't do the checkup for it. But with the basic mech construction rules, it would have to go to the.
No, it wouldn't.
I'd
You
have to
could
check
put
the
it
construction.
in. You could put it in. You could put it anywhere that you have the room. You can't put it in the cockpit unless you are running a very light mech with a small cockpit. But you can put it anywhere that you have the room.
I'd have to check Total Warfare rules for that. Because I remember back in the compendium days, again, I'm dating myself here. Rules for mask was you can put it in the torsos and the legs. I mean, it's letting me. Is it a good reason?
What's the speed?
Would be 410 with both boosts.
Well, 410 is not bad at all. First turn, you move 10 hexes. Next turn, you move 6, or you could go
6.
First turn, move 8. Second turn, move 8. Yeah, just keep doing
Keep
stuff like
switching them
that.
on and off. Yeah, that's what I generally say to people who have both of them on. But I mean, we haven't increased the armor yet either.
How much tonnage do you have left to play with?
Well, let's put back the 2 ER large lasers. I was kind of wanting to switch those for PPCs, but ER large laser will do the trick. I've got 5 tons left over. There is a mauler with Arden armor. It's a one of that someone made with like 28 tons of armor. That one I'm more interested in, but I'd have 5 tons left. Jeez. Can max out the armor and still have 2 tons left.
Do you have enough room for going to ferrolamellar instead of ferrofibrous?
Well, we've got the internal space for it. That's for sure. Got the internal
You have
room,
to.
but we'll have to lower the armor to 17 tons. 16 and a half tons. I mean, 16 and a half tons of ferrolamellar, you already have more armor than a standard mauler, and you chop off 20% of the damage incoming. Which is,
and you ignore LBX cluster shots coming your way. Because ferrolamellar reduces LBX cluster damage
oh yeah,
to
ferrolamellar is a great type of armor, and I do think it's a good addition to the game. I had an improved ferrolamellar written up in an old write-up I had. But that write-up also had compact XL engines. So things got weird at some point with the tech in that one.
Yeah, don't let it get too weird.
Well, basically
otherwise
the compact,
you'll have Brian Young winking at you suggestively.
Well, yeah. Seeing how I've got some of the stuff he was saying on those Star Wars message board, I actually got some of the pictures on that, and I'm like, well, I've got good reason to have felt weird about that guy from the get-go. Of course, you don't have good EAT dissipation, but EAT dissipation's for the weak. Not sure this would be a very great clan mech, but it would be a clan mauler. But of course, I think the Regent as a... No, I don't want to save it.
Give it to the Nova Cap.
No, I'm not. Oh, the Regent's not in my version of Skunkworks. Okay. That's sad. No, I'm still playing around with a few different things for different people. So I'm having to think of what I want to do. There might be a new pack I need to download for the mechs because this one's getting.
Give the Nova Cats the Mauler C.
I
Since
was
they
just
used to be
fooling around with it.
in bed with the Draconis Combine, so
They kind of got test armored mech. What was that? Oh, a mech with 38.5 tons of Arden armor. That's what it was. What did I have on there? 2 ER PPCs, 4 ER mediums, 4 small pulse, a targeting computer, supercharger, and 600 points of armor. Well, that could definitely cause some issues. Is it 20 double heat sinks and a supercharger? Yeah, at that point, when you have Arden armor on a assault mech, you almost always want to have a supercharger or a mask, both if possible, because you are not going to be mobile enough to get where you want to be, unless you want to play Annihilator and just stay somewhere and hope for the best. That was a random test I did a while back, probably. I don't even remember making that one. I mean, I wasn't inspired to do really anything fancy recently. I made some of the Super Robot War mechs, but they're not working like I want. They're just have a hard time with how it's set up. 3 ER mediums, a Clan LB10X, a large X Pulse, an interface cockpit because I'm not able to fit anything if I don't do that. Just give me a second. All right. My wife had to show me something weird. It happens. I'm trying to figure out what the best possible setups are for some things from like Super Robot Wars and things like that. But I'm starting to think or try to think around the different options that I have. I don't know what I want to do as far as mechs right now too much. There's a few you sent me that I need to recreate and mess with, like the tiny pig mech, which was a good idea on paper.
the Piglet.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea on paper. I'm pretty sure it'll work. Just trying to reinforce the structure, not. What I don't like with the.
I mean, the Piglets.
Mhm.
The Piglets meant to go fast, really fast. Like a greased pig fast, being chased by a whole bunch of people fast.
I mean, 10-15 with a mask and a
As
supercharger.
like a scout mech.
Oh, I took out the supercharger.
Yeah.
Got 9 tons here. So a mask, a supercharger. I can stick boat in the center torso. Just. I'm not gonna stick that in the legs because I know what I want to put in the legs because it's gonna go fast. So I'm gonna put talons on there. I'm gonna put talons on there because it's fun. Half of the remaining weight in armor. And how big is that? Oh, the ER small pulse is weird at 1.5 tons, and it is the same range as the regular small pulse laser. Does more damage, at least. ER medium pulse. Yeah, those are. Well, I could only stick one on there. Trying to think of what I would do there. A light active probe for
Flamers.
1/2 ton. Flamers. Already got a small pulse. The small pulse is a good start for that. Almost want to go with 2 ER mediums. Small pulse in the head, a ER medium on each side, and the light active probe to scout, and double heat sinks. I mean, only at 7.6 million. Oh, it's the supercharger. Supercharger's 3 million just in supercharger energy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a scout mech that goes 25. That's got some anti-infantry and some anti-light armor with this light active probe. I mean, and the talons. Let's not forget the talons that'll deal 8 points of damage. I mean, an 8-point kick from a 25-ton mech is significant. It is a significant amount of damage.
And they still have to make a PSR.
Yep. And if something gets behind you, well, you can buck kick as well with those talons. The talons are not just in the front. You got talons in the back. If someone wants to try to be sneaky with his locust and get behind you, you can kick a leg off. 8 points. Would 8 points of damage be enough to take out a locust's leg? Not the entire leg, but at least most of the armor in the internal would probably be gone.
I would have to look it up in the, what is it, the 3025 TRO?
Yeah, that would be in 3025.
I'll be right back. I'll go ahead and get the TRO to check.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna make it even fancier. Let's go fancy. I mean, we're spending money on that new clan. We better get that clan well equipped. Don't think the talons you can put in the pods, but the rest you can. So put a light active probe for the basic one is light active probe, small pulse, 2 ER mediums. Run real fast, get in front of whatever and blow it up. Oh, and the supercharger. There we've got a primary configuration. Starting to see the oiled pig. It's not the best name for a mech, but it is what it is. Configuration alpha. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of room to play with. 4.5 tons of pod space on a 25-ton mech. I think if I was doing a video on that mech, I would be very, very disappointed. That is not a whole lot of room. But you have to account for 6.5 tons of an engine, Gyro cockpit, that's normal, nothing special there. The mask takes a ton, and 3.5 tons of armor is not a whole lot either. I don't think it is a great mech, but it's a fun mech. What's the biggest bang I can get on there? Heavy large laser. Yeah, boy. That is a big gun. And a heavy small. Heavy small's not very good, so I'd rather go with a micro pulse, which is good against infantry. So this can go 20 X's in a turn, and then shoot you with a gun that deals 16 damage at up to 15 range. And it won't overeat because it generates 18 EAT and 20 in 2 EATs for running. So you're not going to even run that mech hot by doing that. Is it a great idea? I don't think so. But will it work? My son wants to look at the charts. Of course, you've got that melee 8 points of damage from the Talons. Because that does take, the Talons are 2 tons. I mean, that's 2 tons of weapons that are built in there. But I mean, you deal, 1 point of damage per ton. It's not bad. What can we do that's silly with 4.5 tons? You really can't do much with 4.5 tons. It's not a very big. You can put a bridge layer. What is that? A bridge layer allows you to put a bridge down so other mechs can cross. So you bring that thing wherever, you stop it there, you deploy the bridge, you let other people cross. Is that a great idea? That is a terrible idea. But it's an idea I just had.
Medium bridge layer. Not even like a big one. It's a medium.
I don't think I'll make a configuration with a bridge layer. That would be a little bit too weird even for me. But something with an ECM would be good, because bringing an ECM quickly to any location is always a good idea. What's the, no, that's the survive underwater. I didn't know what that was until I had to research the Grigory this week. This is a thing that allows the pilot to not die when the mech gets breached. Not the greatest thing ever, but Watchdog. No, I don't think the point defense system is there. It might be an inner sphere only technology for the point defense system. Communication equipment, I don't have enough room to make it useful. Communication equipment, you need to have like 6 tons, I think, for it to be actually useful. ECM's not bad. Oh, yeah, well, you're fast, you're mobile. Nothing better than use it as a NARC delivery platform. NARC delivery platforms are pretty rare still, so it's not the. So you've got Talons, a NARC beacon, an ECM, and a light active probe for configuration Bravo. Is it great? Well, it'll bring the NARC to bear.
Okay, I checked the TRO, and the kick from the piglet that you have will completely strip the armor off of the Locust's leg. They'll reduce it to 0.
That's a good start. I decided to make it an Omni-Mech because I'm crazy. I'm crazy like that. We've got a configuration with an heavy laser because that's funny. And a one with a NARC beacon because that's useful.
There's no way that the Bravo except with the Talon.
It can kick stuff still. So, I mean, it's still got as an armor.
8 seem like very close 7.
The charts say it deals 8 damage at 1x. That's what it does. But it has an arc beacon, so it's useful for all the other mechs with missiles.
This could literally be the difference between life and death.
So, I mean, 4.5 tons of pod space is really not a whole lot. Don't think I had to mess with it. I mean, my son also said that we could put a bridge layer on there, but I don't think that would be a standard configuration with the bridge layer. Same one with the lift hoist, probably not be a standard.
I guess if you mix tech, you could probably see about shoehorning a flail in there. No,
Would it work on a quad? I don't think so.
now that I think about it, I got an idea. It's not going to be for the piglet, but it'll be an idea. Hold
What
on.
is your idea? We will start a new mech with an idea.
Oh, first I gotta load up Skunk Works.
Flails, I was never a fan of because if you miss, you hit yourself. So that's the weird bit with them. But they do a significant amount of damage. So it's high risk, high reward, as people love
Let me
to
see
say.
here.
Trying to think here. How would I build a DOM while we're thinking on this? Four, 6, 4. Because we had art for the DOM from Real Mecha's Love. Trying to think of how I would make it. HVAC. Make it big. A big. Just make it a big hunchback, maybe. I don't remember if I've saved it anywhere, the art for the where would have I put that? I am terrible at saving things in the right spots. I will tell everybody that. Once I've got my things in order, I'm usually pretty good at saving things in the right spot. But before that, I just put things where I think I can find them and I forget them. All I remember is that it had a big shoulder gun, just like the hunchback. So that's, well, I need ammo. That's the problem with an AC-20. You need ammos for it. So let's stick some ammos on there. We've got armor, we've got ammo. I can put on these things. I mean, up till now,
Okay,
it's
from what I just found out, you cannot mount a flail or a wrecking ball in the torso, the third torso.
I feel very sad to hear that. It would be funny, but I feel sad to hear that. Well, right now, who will they go after next? If you're trying to think about the CGL one, I know the CGL are going after Liao. In my Vengeance situation, they just went after Liao. I think they're going to take a little break for a while trying to figure out what's going on in the periphery in that case. Making a big hunchback, basically. I still have 5 free tons, but not enough room. So maybe if I go back to standard Pharaoh, 3.5 tons left. I can't remember what the name of that mech is. The construction mech with a pile of rockets on top and a REC2. That one's funny. That one I remember being funny. I don't remember the name of it though, but it is a funny little design. I did want a case 2 on there, so the mech doesn't die when the ammo goes. Got jump jets, we've got ammo, we've got 4 medium lasers, 2.5 tons left. It's armor to gyro, not a bad idea. We've got half a ton. No, I'm not gonna armor to gyro. 2.5 tons in inner sphere equipment. Well, if it's a DOM, it should have a Gonna have to take off the medium lasers. I'm trying to think here of how I'm gonna do this. Snub nose PPC. Right here. The lumberjack work mech, I know that one. That's the crosscut, and I really like it. Even as a military version of the crosscut would be pretty good, but the problem is the chainsaw in Battletech is weird because it always deals the same amount of damage. Whatever weight you are, it's 5 tons, 5 crits for 5 damage. Yes, you can basically remove an X of light wood or reduce an X of heavy woods to light woods in a turn using it. That's what it actually gives you the advantage of doing. If you have one on each arm, you can basically turn an X of heavy woods into an X of light wood in a single action. It says 1950 for the original introduction. I think the machine gun would be earlier. The regular machine gun 1950. I think it's because the way it works is the earliest there. The machine gun would be 1856 for the original old thing. All right. Just trying to think here. Because if it's a DOM, it has to have that little beam thing that it can do. So an AC-20, snub nose PPC, and I'll just add an half ton of armor. Not sure it's a great mech, but it is would be functional. Don't have a whole lot of range. It's not super fast. It's basically a big hunchback. Not the most fantastic thing ever. Was the mech we were talking about the crosscut. An actual dump truck with rockets on them. I mean, that's called a technical. They have been doing that in real life. But yeah, that's the crosscut. Okay, I mean, it's a very basic mech, but it does the trick. One with dual chainsaw can be very useful. One with a flamer, I'm not sure if that one would be the best idea ever, but you know, you can see there's quite a few different versions of it. Trying to think here. So I'm trying to see, someone ad shared that dump truck mech with a bunch of rockets on top earlier today on one of my discords, but I can't find it. That one is funny. It's basically a dump truck style mech with a big rack of rockets on top and a rotary AC2. I'm probably going to end the stream pretty soon. Like I said, I just wanted to have a stream tonight just to talk with people, get things moving, talking. It's always a lot of fun just to talk shop, talk game. More interesting than talking anything else, really. I mean, I'm trying. I know what you're talking about, but I can't put a name to it. An actual boat, fast boat as well. 2 long toms, 2 medium, 2 LRM-20s, 6 ERPPCs, 2 rock. That's pretty reasonable for a small ship. I mean, now that I have MegaMek, I'd be able to do these kinds of weird designs as well. That's the basic design. Here, you've got a flatbed truck and a big box of rockets on the back. But that truck's too fancy, because the truck you actually want when you want to do these kinds of things is you know, a good old Toyota Hilux. But that one's too fancy. That's the kind of Toyota Hilux you need. A 1980s one. Those, they're just indestructible. Naval stuff in Battletech is really hard to put in, because Battletech's not at the same scale as things like Gundam or a lot of the mecha anime, where you're on 1 or 2 planets and you're fighting all over that world. In Battletech, most of the naval stuff's going to be in space, and everything that's, you know, naval on the in water is going to be like fishing boats and things like that, because people are not going to be fighting over these things. There are a few boats. We just saw one here, the Andriusha. That one's a Capellan. It's because the Ford F-150 is the required truck in the US, not the Toyota Hilux. There should be. Is there a category for boats in there? Rail support vehicle, VTOL support vehicle, Word of Blake support vehicles. Yeah, they don't have airships. Yes, airships. Poseidon Mobile Engineering Platform. An 800-ton airship with pile driver, mining drills, Beagle active probe, cranes. I mean, it works. Well, the Elms Memory Core better have those Ilux 80s plans because that is one of the best vehicle in existence. Support vehicles I've never really messed with. I know they exist in Battletech, but I've never really messed with because there's not really any fancy models for it. A VTOL carrier airship, 1,000 tons. What? 3 100-ton VTOL bay around and a 100-ton cargo hold. The airship is environmentally sealed to protect against. I mean, that's a great idea. This is actually a great idea for a vehicle. Carry some VTOLs around and drop them from there. Probably not the cheapest thing around, though. Well, 634 battle value, but that's because it has no armaments, no eat sinks, no nothing fancy. I mean, that is a funny design. It's fun. There's some stuff in Battletech that's just funny to look at, and you just look around and figure out that it exists. Hey, there's another airship. That's the little combat helicopter. Triton missile sub. 12,000 tons. That is an actual sub with 6 Aero 4 launchers. So you have 6 Aero 4, 6 LR torpedo launchers 20. It's fairly slow, but it doesn't really matter. The fusion power plant, so it can technically run underwater indefinitely. The problem is you're going to build those on a planet, and you're never going to remove them from that planet. They're going to be there forever. You can't really move a naval vessel of that magnitude with anything short of a warship. So not the easiest thing to have around.
There we go. For some reason, StreamYard ended up disconnecting on me.
It happens. I kind of understand that. Oh, there's a version of that submarine with Aero 4s that actually use capital class missiles. Well, subcap missiles. Because fun. Support vehicles are really weird. That's what we're learning right now. The Tonbo, I know, I need to make another version of this, basically to make those actual mech carriers. The Tombo, the idea for it is it goes around and steals clan mechs, as you can see here with that direwolf being stolen. But I want to make an actual super heavy VTOL like that to carry battle mechs into battle rather than just that one's for recovery and salvage.
You mean like in the opening trailer for Front Mission 4?
Yeah. Well, Front Mission has that. Dogram has that as well. I mean, dropships are nice and everything, but they're big and very expensive. Having an helicopter bring mechs to where you need to drop them is a pretty smart idea, I believe. And it's cool. That's also a very important thing. And I mean, after seeing the carryalls in Dune, also is a good inspiration for that. A police vehicle. Oh, okay. That's bar 7 armor. Bar 7 armor is commercial grade, and it's really terrible because a large laser will penetrate it on it. So that's pretty bad. I've fought dropships. I've never used a dropship as a huge ass turret, but I fought a dropship that was being used as a turret once. It's unpleasant, to say the least. It was a union. We had to basically go in and blow up a union. That was quite unpleasant as a mission. And there's an even bigger submarine. House Karita loves their submarine, it seems. All right, I'm going to end the stream here. Just like I said, just wanted to chat mostly. I didn't have any special videos or any Vengeance video to really do this week since I was busy. So I will see everybody.
Are you going to be doing a stream this coming weekend?
I do think I will have a stream this weekend, though. If we can get some people or some art assets, or I might have some bios written up or some more stories written up. I mean, the next 2 days, I have no idea what they're going to look like. We were busy at the start of the week. That usually means the end of the week is relaxed. So we will see. Work is work, basically. ISF secret ninja subs. Yes, that's how it works. Literally, I'd make a 10-ton sub where one guy is in, just use it to sneak around. That'd be a fun. I mean, now that I have access to make support vehicles, I might do stupid things with it. That's my problem. Whenever I get a tool like MegaMek and I can build all sorts of things, I start building all sorts of things and things get silly. So that might be a good thing that I got that installed today for this weekend. So yes, I'll probably have a stream this weekend. Friday, we have the video on the Seraph, which is a really nice one. And yeah, that should be it for now. So I'll see everybody later. Thank you very much for spending a little bit of time with me. And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.